Milos Raonic issues stark warning to ATP Tour over Alcaraz and Sinner dominance. Former Wimbledon finalist Milos Raonic has raised serious concerns for the rest of the ATP Tour, warning that Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner may already be pulling away from the pack in a way that makes it extremely difficult for other players to compete for Grand Slam glory. Alcaraz and Sinner have firmly established themselves as the two dominant forces in men's tennis, winning the last 8 Grand Slam titles between them. Even more remarkably, the pair have faced each other in each of the last 3 major finals, underlining their grip on the sport. As the 2026 Australian Open gets underway, both players are widely expected to meet again in the final in Melbourne, which would mark their first championship clash at the tournament. With anticipation building, Raonic, who announced his retirement just last week, admitted he feels uneasy about what their rise means for the rest of the field. Why Alcaraz and Sinner are different from the Big Three. Speaking on the Changeover podcast, Raonic was asked to compare the current era to the dominance once enjoyed by Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, and Roger Federer. While acknowledging similarities, he pointed out a crucial difference that could make Alcaraz and Sinner even more daunting for their rivals. According to Raonic, the Big Three emerged in phases. Federer initially stood alone, before Nadal rose, first on clay and then across all surfaces, and later Djokovic completed the trio. That staggered rise gave other players brief moments to believe a breakthrough might be possible. By contrast, Alcaraz and Sinner are only a year apart in age and reached the top almost simultaneously. They've cemented themselves a full stride ahead of the rest very quickly, Raonic explained. It never really gave the next group a chance to believe there was an opening. Raonic also highlighted a psychological challenge that today's players face. During his own career, the Big Three were always older, which created hope that time would eventually shift in his generation's favor. That hope doesn't exist now. The hard thing for this group is that those guys are younger than you, he said. Your time is going to run out quicker than theirs. A shrinking window for the rest of the Tour. Raonic noted that there are very few players younger than Alcaraz and Sinner who theoretically have more time to develop. He mentioned Joao Fonseca, Jakub Mensik, and Lerner Tien as the only real exceptions, emphasizing that nearly everyone else on tour is effectively racing against the clock. This age dynamic, Raonic believes, makes the gap between the top 2 and the rest of the field feel even larger than it was during the Big Three era. Dominance backed by results, the numbers support Raonic's concerns. In the last 14 tournaments where both Alcaraz and Sinner competed, one of them has gone on to win the title every single time. The most recent tournament where neither lifted the trophy was the Madrid Open in 2024, when Andrei Rublev claimed the title after defeating Alcaraz in the quarterfinals. Sinner withdrew from that event due to a hip injury. Since then, major titles and Masters events have consistently belonged to either Alcaraz or Sinner, including multiple Grand Slams, ATP Finals, and Masters 1000 tournaments. Eyes on Australian Open 2026. Sinner enters the 2026 Australian Open aiming for a 3rd consecutive title in Melbourne, while Alcaraz is chasing history as he looks to become the youngest player ever to complete the career Grand Slam. Alcaraz has already begun his campaign with a first-round win over Adam Walton, while Sinner is set to open his tournament on Tuesday, January 20th, against Hugo Gaston. And if recent history is anything to go by, the rest of the ATP Tour may once again be watching as one.